Over 25% of Brits do not believe that the NHS are actually caring for them, despite all the clapping and all the TikTok dances. Yeah, it's not 8 p.m. yet, it's not Thursday, we're not going to do clapping. We're going to talk about the failed model that is the NHS. You know that I love to talk about this on this channel. I get a lot of text by you guys because there's still a lot of people, whether you're conservative or, I don't know, on the centre or centre-left, but you're still against big government. Some people have still been brainwashed over the last few decades. They think it's either the NHS or you will die in the street, like in Chicago. That's not the alternative. The alternative is you can still have universal healthcare like the rest of Europe, Western Europe, Northern Europe. Let's talk about this topic. People in Britain are finally waking up after years and decades of worshipping this model that has let down not just the patients, the taxpayers, but also the nurses and doctors, the good nurses and doctors that want to work better, but they can't because the model failed them. Now, 1 in 4, it's 26% of Brits have now said that they have no confidence in the NHS. But the biggest percentage, and the stats that I'm more concerned about, is that only 15% of people thought that the NHS was not coping well since March 2020, since the first lockdown, when it comes to treating those patients. Only 15% genuinely thought that the NHS was overwhelmed since 2020 lockdown. Now, I've always clarified, because I'm obviously in touch with a number of NHS trusts. My mum was a nurse at Great Ormond Street. There are certain hospitals at times, especially back in March and April 2020, certain hospitals in certain local areas that were overwhelmed for a few days or a couple of weeks. But we're talking about the whole model, the whole of the country as a whole. It was not. And again, 15% of people, that shows how the mood in the country, generally speaking. Now, if they want to care, maybe reconsider spending all this time doing TikTok dancing, because it's just not a good look. I know that people, wherever you work, still have your break times and you do fun things. It's just not a good look in the middle of all this chaos. It's not a good look when you clap for yourself. When people came out the first Thursday of that lockdown, 8 p.m. to clap, I wasn't expecting to see the actual NHS nurses clapping for themselves. Let people clap for you. It's just, I know some people are going to say my account, it's not a big deal. It's just weird seeing these photos. If they cared, maybe GPs would not try to refuse face-to-face appointments and say, I am not going to see my patients. I refuse to see my patients because I'm scared to sneeze, even though I'm boosted. That's what. If you really cared, you could do that. If you really cared, you would not hold patients and taxpayers as hostages, but going on the streets, doing on strikes, and say that, well, I'm going to do a strike because I'm scared of some sort of imaginary, invisible privatization that's not even happening. So I'm going to basically shut down the hospital and my GP clinics, go on the streets, and scream and cry about something that's not even happening. Is this really the model that we should keep when the rest of the world, there's no country in the world that's trying to copy and paste this model? Stop clapping, stop dancing, stop going on strikes unless you have a legitimate reason, not for some invisible, oh, Donald Trump is buying the NHS. Why would Donald Trump or anybody buy the NHS? It's not good value for money. It's not. Nobody should buy it. Absolutely not. It's not Bitcoin. Right. We're going to have more updates for you guys throughout the day. We have one. Next video is going to be quite fun. And Nadia Whittam, the Labour MP, the baby Labour MP, who was literally 23 when she was elected into Parliament, has been tweeting again. And I'm going to react to those tweets. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi and we are the media.